Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
We've got live broadcasts like you've never seen before.
Sinclair's holding them off. Cohen's off the front. Giuliano up the inside. Looks like Giuliano's going to time that attack perfectly.
We've got a pre-show like you've never seen before.
And in the race tonight, Alessio has a victim, and he's beaten him twice out of 2 times they've ever raced, and that's Yuri. So he's got the wood, as we like to say. We've got live workouts like you've never seen before. Seconds to go, 7 seconds to go. Start to grit those teeth, and you just got to loosen the grip and push a little bit harder.
Performance verification like you've never seen before. Hang on. Whoa. Wait, hey. Mate, you're in the book. What's your Valentine? Right, you're in the book, mate. You're in the book. Kent Cross, you're in the book.
And it's all free.
And it's all free.
Hello and welcome to the KOA Sports League, round 1 for points in 2020, and we cannot wait to rip into this one. A huge paddock, over 350 starters. Tim Ballantyne, how you going?
Mate, pumped. I cannot believe it that, we just humble beginnings, Greg. Humble beginnings, of course.
Started in your bedroom, I think. So that's where we started.
Something like that. And we've upgraded to aircon. We've got all the fancy fans. But look, to have 625 verified riders on Training Peaks, where we're just about to kick off, obviously, the point system. So there'll be all sorts of verification now kicking in. We've had a month there of just relaxing, letting people sort of dip their toe in the water. But down comes the hammer now. Don't you worry about that. But look, plenty to get into, Greg, and cannot wait, mate.
Yeah, no worries. And actually, this race tonight, guys, we are combining with round 2 of the State of Origin series. And Kappa, throw us to the stinger. That's it, guys. Who will take the chocolates? That is definitely going to be on tonight, and we cannot wait to see all that happening. I can sense the great man, Tim, having a little chuckle in the background.
I just like where Kappa always has to say, "Oi, guys, stop talking. I've got to unmute you." And one day, be watching, because yes, we need to probably clean up our behaviour, Greg.
Absolutely.
In between these transitions. But mate, look, plenty coming up, and what I've most loved about this week is obviously all the feedback coming through, right. And I've got the Vaseline out on some of my eyebrows because boy, oh boy, have we had some kicks to the head.
Wow.
But one of the great things about being in broadcast is that we get a writer reply. So we'll clarify a few things. There is obviously a little bit of confusion, but sometimes in new sports and sometimes when there's a little bit of reading required, people struggle. So we're going to help people with a little bit of reading. But Greg, now, State of Origin, mate. State of Origin.
Speaking about Vaseline over the eyes and black tar under the eyes, let's have a look at what's going to happen tonight in this State of Origin round 2.
Cannot wait.
So last week, being the custodian of the New South Wales team, I have the privilege of running through some amazing results. Over 180 riders completed the Harrogate circuit and some absolutely amazing results. Just to round it out, total points in New South Wales was 165. Just a lazy 58% better than the Queenslanders, coming in at 106. So looking forward to seeing the Blues wrap up the series tonight, and looking forward to some big numbers being dropped around the Watopia Hilly course. So just to highlight a few from last week, winning A grade overall, Christopher Ball. Second was Luke Cridlin. Saw Luke come through late. Alexander Mikulev definitely took the most combative rider last week in third place. And good to see Nick Schultz hailed in from the Mitchelton Scott team, taking fourth there for the Queenslanders. So 1, 2, 3 for New South Wales in A grade. In B grade overall, Luke Rickett, Michael Curley and Daniel Wells from New South Wales taking out third place there. And want to highlight definitely the female athletes and that side of things. We had from New South Wales in B grade, Aline Smith, Emily Watts taking second place, and a little KOA sports athlete, if you don't mind, out of Queensland, Kirsty Sheehan, rounding out the podium in third place. Over to C grade, it was a clean sweep for New South Wales, 1 through 5. So to highlight the male competitors, Cade Morrissey, Paul Minlin, and Bryce O'Gary, great Irish name there, Bryce, taking out third place. And on the female side of things, we had Josie Talbot, Erin McDonald, and Sarah Cliff again, just taking everything there for the Blues. And going down to B grade now, we had winning the males category there, Brad Hooker out of New South Wales. Second place was Aaron Bear Liang. So the president of Cycling Queensland jumping into second place there, and Cadell Lovett third place for New South Wales. Taking out D grade in the female category was Tess Martin Wallace from Queensland. Second place, Lynn Vaughan, and rounding out the podium there in C grade was Kirsten Leach. So looking forward to seeing all those athletes absolutely smash it out tonight. And if you're a Queenslander in C grade, you might want to pick your game up just a little bit. So joining us tonight, representing the Cockroaches, is a lovely young lady out of New South Wales, Emily Watts. How are you, Emily?
Very good, thank you.
That's the way, and I can see you're in your very bright, sparkly Subaru Giant Racing Team kit and representing those guys this evening as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, and also my new Zwift Team Aero.
Hey, there we another Zwift team member, Team Aero. So definitely we'll be highlighting some of those riders as we go through, thanks to Tully and the guys there at Aero. So looking forward to that. So bit of stuff about you, Emily. You've had a very interesting 12 months, let's say, with a little bit of a, let's say a little bit of an incident maybe in late 2019.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an incident at first. I didn't think it was as bad as it was, but looking back to where I was a year now, I wasn't really on the bike. I was in a body brace, just out of hospital and lying in my bed thinking that I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so you turned it all around, headed down to Adelaide, sorry, not in Adelaide, you went down to Buninyong, obviously, in early January and competed at the Australian Champs, and an amazing result there, picking up, I would dare say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the highlight of your career so far, bronze in the National Time Trial Championship of Australia.
Yeah, so that was a goal from the day after my crash. Me and my dad, I was in hospital bed, we decided that Nationals is 9 months away. So we can definitely pick it back up and be on peak form for Nationals. So for me to actually pull off the result that I did was very unexpected, and it came with a lot of emotion. As some of the photos have shown, there was tears from everyone.
I can imagine. So unbelievable result. And now getting into, obviously, getting your teeth right into this Zwift racing world. A great result last week in the KOA Sports League. I believe you were second in the B grade competition. And obviously looking forward to another huge result tonight, but a little bit of competition I've noticed.
Yeah, there is. I have had a check and I thought I was the first in B grade in the women, but I got beaten, so that's all right. But I'll be coming for her today.
Yeah, nice. Very good to see. Now, other thing, just to touch on quickly, you also had an amazing result in the first NRS race only on the weekend, finishing a very respectable 7th in one of the best Zwift women's races we've seen on the platform. So talk us through that quickly.
Yeah, so I got a hint from someone the day before, which I won't disclose because I don't want people beating me on Zwift. But I had a bit of a hint, so I used that racing tip during the race, and I used it every lap. So that pulled off, and my teammate got 4th, and I got 7th. Perfect. So we had an amazing race, and yeah, it's just really good to see that the NRS can support us ladies from our lounge rooms.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And have a great race tonight. There'll be no stacks tonight, I can guarantee that, but we're looking forward to seeing you take the chockies, as they say, and have a great race.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Alrighty, we have got Selena Green here, and well, you could argue there's a bit of weight doping there, but that's going to go against you. You've got a dog on your back, Selena.
Yes, indeed. He's there. He's in the blues. He's the cockroach. So he's going to be back there, and I'm going to be up the front where the Queenslanders are going to win.
Oh, that is so incredible. Look, what's the dog's name?
His name is Ryder.
Ryder.
Riding boring, so it's kind of hiding at the moment.
Outstanding. Well, hopefully he stays on. So you got some points last week, Selena, in D grade.
Oh, we try, to do our best.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And,
so
yes,
go on.
For the women, we're going out there and we're trying to get up amongst it and in amongst the points and help all for Queensland, because the Blues and the Cockroaches hopefully will be the losers today.
Don't worry, there's a Royal Commission coming that way of New South Wales. There's some questionable behaviour coming out of there, but we'll leave that for another day. But what bike have you got attached to your trainer? What do you ride, Selena?
So I'm actually on my trainer here on my Tax Neo. I have a Swift, so we're hoping it'll go very swift today for our Queenslanders.
Good stuff. And Watopia Hilly, 2 laps. Are you ready? Are you ready for the second time up the com? Are you ready for it?
Well, ready as I'm ever going to be. So hopefully there and get things going and get up over, get to the end line before some of our Blues losers.
I love it. It's humble. It's perfectly Queensland. And it's fair to say they'll be eating some Yatla pie at the end of tonight.
Yes, hopefully.
Good on you, Selena. Well, thanks for tuning in and going to all that effort and supporting the state of origin. And we love it. We love it. So thanks for jumping on.
No worries. Go the Maroons.
Righto, tonight we are doing 2 laps of Watopia Hilly, and we're going to have a little look at that. So we know, of course, that it is a 9.1 kilometre circuit. You can see there, 100 metres exactly of elevation on one lap. We get to do that twice, and of course, after 1 kilometre of racing, you get to go uphill for 1 kilometre at an average of 5.5%. So let's jump through our ride-through that I so generously did and take a look at that now. So here we go. So we come off the pier now and we'll go straight into it. We keep going straight. We don't take a left for the tunnel. We're going straight and bang, we are straight onto the com. And this is where things start to spread out, Greg, and we get that huge amount of attrition. And they get to do it twice.
Yeah,
How lucky.
How lucky.
Little flat spot here.
How
Just
lucky.
a tiny flat spot, and then it kicks again. But a good chance on the other side of a fairly extended descent. But it'll be interesting to see some of these times coming up this com, because we can expect certainly on the first lap things will be massive. Will we see faster times on the second lap? I doubt it. But here's that descent now. You can see there sort of downhill 1-2%. Nice chance to let the heart rate come down and just let your legs come back down to earth.
Yeah, no worries. And then we hit the we actually come back onto onto the Watopia circuit, not too far up the street here. And as we roll down through here, then up and down, and here we go back onto the circuit any minute now. It's pretty much downhill through here, so I expect everything to stay together. And we're going to take a little turn very, very shortly that's going to bring us back onto the circuit we know so well, Tim.
Yeah. So you'll come through the backside here. It just kicks up here and you'll go through just before the village here. So you can see things starting to get coordinated. This is just before the sprint com. Of course, no sprint com points up, but you get the cobblestone, come through the thing. And what you want to get prepared for right at this point is the S's ramp, which is coming up in about 500 metres time.
Yeah, last chance to attack here too is bang right on that corner. So 6% as you come up that ramp, and then you hit the S's, and it's not over by any stretch. You can get an attack through here, and it can all be brought back together, but you need to push through those little rollers.
We've seen young riders like Aidan Sinclair in the past in our league races earlier, even later last year, do big attacks at this point, but this is that long downhill sweeping barnstorming sprint finish. They'll come through here and wrap it all up, and of course Queensland.
Oh, that's going to be a ripper. So 2 laps, Watopia Hilly. If you're in the paddock and you're warming up, you've got about 4 minutes till race start, and you will want to be ready because after 1 kilometre, you're going to hit that little climb at 900 metres at 6%.
Yeah,
so,
twice is brutal, and just a little bit of advice. You do need a little bit of a few bickies left in the jar, so to speak, for that second lap. But Greg, just a bit of shameless self-promotion here, of course, this morning.
You're very good at that.
Well, I am good at that, but this morning we sat down with Dirk Friel, the co-founder of Training Peaks, and we've just put that podcast out there. So we had about 90 minutes with Dirk, and if you don't know, we do a podcast and have plenty of industry guests in the endurance space. So make sure you go check that out because some pretty good content. We talk a lot about verification, and we talk a lot about his days as a pro cyclist, going shoulder to shoulder with Hincapie and Armstrong, all those blokes. And really fascinating story, obviously, there, the rise of Training Peaks and what's that has become today, mate.
Yeah, so amazing podcast. I really enjoyed time with Dirk, and a little bit of a funny bit at the end. He was sitting in his closet the whole time, so you can listen to the end of the podcast, find out a little bit more about that. Now, 3 minutes out from race kickoff, I am assuming there's a lot of sweat starting to be dropped in those pain caves. Now, a quick shout out, Tim, to a few. Now, you didn't mention this earlier, we have 18 teams registered for points tonight as well.
Before you do a shout out, obviously just pre-race there, we had a real chance there to, you want to see Greg's face right here because he's got no idea what's coming. And we gave him every opportunity to give his team a bit of a G-up, but he obviously opted out. But I managed to put one away there. So Queenslanders, listen up.
Oh, yeah, this is a joke.
What a disgrace. The New South Wales coach, that bloke, he's at home drinking Shirley Temples. We gave him the opportunity to give a coach's address, get his team ready. Job's done, he said. Nothing to see here. Round 2, all done. But little do you know, little do they know, it was all part of the plan. Lulling you into a false sense of security. The arrogance of the Blues. We know it so well. Well, here we go. 2 laps, Watopia Hilly. 2 chances to rip the cockroaches' legs apart. And can you believe it? They changed the rules. Mid-series. Yep, changed the rules. It's a damn conspiracy. And I am ordering a Royal Commission. Number 2. 2 Royal Commissions at once going on in New South Wales. Can you believe it? So we're not going to cop it. It's time to stand up and deliver. On the big stage, this is your chance. Get amongst it and leave nothing on the table. They think they've got it sewn up.
All right, you can go and get stuffed. I had no idea that was coming. And we did speak about this earlier on today, and I was told, no, we've got way too much content coming through. We've got interviews with riders. We've got chihuahuas on there. Kappa thinks it's a Jack Russell. We've got all these things. Who brings a dog along to a Zwift race? Well, the Queenslanders do. Tim.
How
So
good was
that?
that?
Very
That
good.
was so good, mate. I hope you
Shout out to
appreciate
Richard Avery,
the,
who was he was a man waiting on that to happen, and I didn't know it was coming.
We
So
have
there
a bit
you go.
of fun. Now, it's 38 seconds, so and we have got the webcams up again, Greg. So let's
Perfect.
get on down to the gym of the New South Wales team. Headed up there. They have been working on their upper body this week, and just struggling.
Jesus.
Just struggling a little bit there with the heavyweights, the New South Welshmen. So let's see how we go. And then, of course, we've got the female riders over there in Queensland looking to step it up. Oh, have you seen that? Eh?
What is
That's going to come in
joke.
handy.
So
That's
one of
going
the
to come in handy.
advantages,
Just to psych out.
someone had to go and do a little bit of work this afternoon. So clearly there was a bit going on here in the studio. So great to see. 3, 2, and 1. Let's see some bombs. Go the Cockies. And look at those blue jerseys. We don't need your videos. We don't need your smack talk.
Oh,
we'll
it's
be
on.
out there ready to bust it.
Hey, look at some of these numbers early. Orange lights on the side. We've seen that early. Alex West there, of course, in that pink hat in the Canyon ZCC team, just picked up a nice little recruit in the young fella there.
Saw
So
that.
hopefully that's been announced.
That
I
has.
haven't,
It's official.
Thank you.
official.
And I got the inside word there. So congratulations to that ever-growing team. A lot of blues there up the front and some blokes off the front. So we've got Brody there, Ogilvy, Corbett, and plenty here watching early. And how many starters have we got? We've got about 321, it would seem. So a little bit up this week. A lot of blue there in
Great
that
to see.
peloton, which is very, very disappointing to see. But we'll just get on with it.
Now, great to see as well, a great man. Now, the name rings a bell here. G. McDermott, that would be the great Jared McDermott, Ironman athlete, actually, out of New South Wales. And he is absolutely going to smash it up tonight in C grade as well, as we see some big attrition start to happen already. 52 Ks an hour as we will
Wowee.
hit this climb not too far away. We're already 800, 900 metres into this one, and it is going to be on like anyone's business as we hit the bottom of this climb.
Of course, what'll be really interesting, here we go. So bottom of the comm here. So who's going to just go all out and who's going to save a few bickies there for the second lap, because they've got to do this all over again. But we're going to see some massive attrition now coming up the back end of this comm. But a big front pack here, Greg.
Huge.
And we'll do our very best at stages, particularly during the downhills, to work our way back through the field and cover as many riders as we possibly can. But just holding a lazy 32 kilometres an hour up this 8% gradient. Some big names in there, a lot of New South Wales and Queensland brackets there. Ling, Byam, Hatz, Madsen, Mears, and Marshall in that
now,
front
there's
pack.
a very famous name out of New South Wales, I'll have to add, but not too sure sporting...
Are you claiming it?
Oh, no, not quite.
Okay.
I've just gone through from back of the pack to the front of the pack, average heart rate,
Good
176. I might have taken a bit of poetic justice with that, but definitely some huge heart rates as this huge pack, over 320 riders, makes its way up the comm.
Yeah, there they go, right up the top here. So working their way up the top of this climb. Not too long to go as well, just about 300 metres to go. And riders really starting to apply some pressure. We're going to get some teams rolling through the front, and Team Relentless always really well represented, Greg. They have got
10
serious
starters.
numbers.
Yeah, Team Relentless, shout out to those guys. 10 starters. We've got Jacob Wilson there as he rolls right in the middle of that front pack. He is one of the big hitters out of Team Relentless, and you'll see that Relentless name pop right up in this group as they already are coming up to the top of the comm.
And of course, they pick up a power up as they come up underneath this arch as well. So of course, how many feather power ups do you start a race
I
with?
think you get 24, but you'd have to check in with a better commentator than myself to find that out.
Okay.
So Ollie Jones there, Team Canyon ZCC, and last week there, Micallef, he lit this race up, and he's pushing hard to the front of the again, and Rusty Devlin
137.
right in the front of that front group as well.
137
Unbelievable.
coming up the Zwift comm. If you don't mind, that's for someone who's spent a fair bit of time on Zwift, that is, I've never even come close to that. That is absolutely hooking up that comm.
Just while we settle things down in this front pack of about 60 to 70 riders, and they're burning up a few power-ups. A few shout-outs, Tim. Ella Kate
let's go.
Hussein, development athlete out of New South Wales from the Hills Triathlon Club, if you don't mind. She was third last week in her age group, and she is 15 or 16 years of age, and has, with a name like Hussein, she will have 500 family members watching tonight. I have no doubt about it. Big families down there in Western Sydney. Shout out to a young man that is doing a little bit tougher at the moment, Mr. Mac Larkin. He has seen better days, but he's on the mend, I believe, and he will no doubt be watching in his little pain cave wherever he is at the moment.
A lot of names that we've come to love and know here in the front pack, and a lot of names back in the peloton, so we'll slide on back there pretty shortly, but they just got a little bit of respite here, so a really tight front pack here. A little bit of a kick here, Greg, so 2, 3, 4, 5 and 5% here as they come. He's that little extra kick, that little bit of extra sting through the legs where you get push up towards 7, 8 watts a kilo just to hang in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few Kenyan CCC guys in there. Great to see a couple of the KOA Sports athletes that we coach around the globe in that front group as well, Tim and Kappa. And we haven't even said hello to Kappa. He's been a little bit busy. How are you, Kappa?
I'm good, thank you. Very good. I thought you'd forgotten about me for a minute, mate. So.
Oh, because you missed the podcast, or?
Yeah. I was. I didn't get the memo for that.
Oh, the coffee bill was cheaper today, Tim. So that was a highlight of my day but Kappa has been absolutely. There's steam coming off the keyboard today. There's all that stuff that Tim snuck in together, and that was one of the all-class, all-time stitch-ups right there.
The lips come off the floor. Don't worry, he's fine. He will be just fine. Greg knows how to take a jog. So Norton in there, Conway, KOA, and we've got Mears as well. So
that's
Wilson
we've
got Cridlin there. Obviously performed fantastically well last week.
Yeah,
Cridlin
second place last week from Cridlin in the State of Origin series. So he will be ripping and a tearing.
72 kilometres an hour. They are going to go around this and cover the ground mighty fast. So hard to break away at this point. Of course, you'll probably see not so much some sitting in, but very hard to break away at this point. But obviously, as we work our way towards the S's, that's obviously an opportunity on that S's ramp, and then through those rollers that we saw there pre-race. So Messineo in there, the winner from last week. He's backing up and, of course, part of Team ZF, run by Pete Donahue. Shout out to him. So, Godson and Hats.
Yeah, huge front pack, and great to see in there as well. I saw Dempster in there. Now, changed name of teams if you're following the world of Zwift racing. This is the indoor specialist team that is now called Saris. Oh, put myself on the spot. Something
well
closet
done.
by closet. Clothing closet.
Let you hang.
But,
let him hang, Kappa.
He's absolutely leaving me there. And Brad
flapping.
Norton in that front group too. Team Aero. I had a good chat with Brad throughout the last few days, and those guys are serious about their Zwift racing, and they're all about verification, Tim and Kappa, as we pick up right just up a little ramp here, and we're back. If you're familiar with the Watopia flat course, we're back there.
Yeah, we'll put it out there straight away. So certainly on the second lap, we'll be picking up a lot more traffic as well because of a 2-lap course. So we will do our very best to cover other finishes, but sometimes in these lapped courses, it can be a little bit challenged. So it's got nothing to do with us just focusing up the front, but we certainly don't want to miss the front of the race, such as how we control the helicopter or drone, so to speak. So we will definitely try to do our best to get back, but just putting out there, we'll certainly be staying with the front of the race at this point. So Mendez rolling through there, Britton, Ling, and a lot of the Canyon guys in there still holding up really well, Greg, and at Lex. Oh
yeah, he's a beast.
Top
a
performer.
genuine
No
beast.
Vyarson, but Vyarson, of course, has just moved to number 1 esports rider on the planet. Verified KOA Sports League athlete, and does dual recordings, weight check-ins, everything. He is a very, very transparent athlete, as are a lot of the athletes here who have connected their Training Peaks accounts with us. So we'll be dialing in a lot of those verifications over the coming months, that is for sure.
Absolutely. A few shout-outs there on Facebook. Dave Stewart, he has confirmed, Tim, that is not the great Anna Mears. That is Luke Mears rolling around for New South Wales there. Great to see. And we've got Joy Darcy dialing in, Kenta Endo dialing in as always, and a shout out to an old mate in New South Wales, mine, Mal Kazia.
Another chance here to pick up a power up, Greg. So every time you go under a comm and every time you go under a banner or finish a lap, your chance to pick up a comm. So if you're currently holding one and you don't want it, bin it on the app or just play it and get rid of it and get what you want. So certainly on this long downhill finish, the Aero helmet is exactly what you want. And right now, though, you're going to see a lot of green icons pop up, I would suspect, as they try and hang on and dump a little bit of weight. Let's see what happens. But a few draft busters in there, but no feather power-ups.
No feathers.
No
one must have
feathers.
picked them up in that front
a lot
group.
of 10 XPs.
This is the point to use them. Although there is those rollers on the way home, I suppose, and maybe we've negotiated for everyone to cop a 10 XP on the way through there. There's a few feathers being dropped off the back. This hill really only serves to thin the group out rather than set it up for the finish. But we're starting to pick up some very strong riders here, straight off the front of this group. With
Duggan asking the question.
Wilson, Mears, Tuckwell, Britton, Alex, all coming across now. Look at the length of that train there. Yep. They're all starting to thin out.
Duggan's asking the question of the main pack, but some very handy riders back there in the pack as well. And McAuliffe looks to close that down and shut that down and work his way back across 2 seconds back there to the main peloton, back to 1 second, and we are all back together. So, of course, and shout out to Christy Glenn in the event. A lot of KOA Sports athletes that we coach around the globe, of course, racing tonight. You can see a lot of their names in the companion app pre-race. And one thing is for sure, my phone explodes with threshold notifications post-race, and that's always a bit of fun to go through.
Yep, and a shout out to Karim Bari, who is no doubt watching. He has sent his kicker to the hospital. So no race for Karim tonight, but he is supporting a lot of these athletes as they roll around this extremely hard little climb twice. And as they come through now, these S's, as they just about finish those little rollers where you just need to stay engaged with the group. And it's always good to see an Irish athlete out there off the front of the group as well.
Ollie Jones there of Kenyon. They're going to cover this lap in under 12 minutes. If you don't mind. So they are absolutely flying around Watopia Hilly. Be interesting to see whether they get faster on the second and what is left in the tank. But we've got Onya at the front there, S. King, S. Murphy, Collar, Alex, Mears, of course, again, hanging in there really well. And we saw that attack earlier by Duggan up the S's com. So look for that on the second lap. Often people have those same patterns of behaviour on lap courses. That's something just to sort of watch out there. If you are Zwift racing, often people will have their special places that they certainly like to get the job done. So, lots and lots of traffic. Busy day
in
Watopia.
So, if you're out there watching and you're wondering what all of this is about, this is round one for points of the KOA Sports League. And if you want to join that league, it's www.koasportsleague.com. And we have got a stack of teams entered in this as well, which will be racing for points tonight. And just a couple to mention. The Team Turtles, which is a KOA Sports team, if you want to check those guys out. And my favourite name of the night, Tim, the Meat Bags and Toothpicks. All hail out of Melbourne and New South Wales, I believe, and racing A and B grade here. And you'll see one of those names in the front there. I'm sure Tom Morwood will pop up. He's getting some very good experience as he rolls around the Zwift world.
Just saw his name pop up there from Aero, the new esports team out of Australia, led up there by Tully Lister, and loves a quarter pounder, Tully.
Oh, so, does he what?
Does he what? Not because he's a big fella, but he happens to just have a couple of Maccas rolling around.
He's a genuine Zwift beast as
Welcome
well.
to the industry, mate.
And not a bad little handy triathlete in his day, Tim. Been over to Kona a couple of times, but certainly hasn't made it up to your sort of level at this stage.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Aidan Sinclair there hasn't really come to the front much at all, but Aidan Sinclair we've seen and we spoke about it in the ride through as well. On those S's, he's very, very solid, and it suits the sort of rider he is. And he does have some teammates in there tonight, obviously, as well. So maybe we'll see some working together. But here we go. Start of the Helicom Ford, second time around.
Sure.
And expect to see at least probably 20% of this pack look a little bit different across the top. So what were we? 137 first time around.
Unbelievable.
Be interesting. There's those feather power-ups being played early as they try and hang on. We got Jones in there, Javaso, 8.4 watts per kilo by Harrigan. We got some serious attacks here. Ollie Jones here rolls through the front on the outside. Dempster there at 8.6 watts per kilo responds perfectly. Conway at 8.1 per kilo. Ollie Jones just hanging in there at 9.2 watts per kilo. 652 watts and a heart rate of 174 beats per minute.
Unbelievable numbers. Look at this Dempster
Harrigan
there. Team Saris just pushing it hard there off the front. Ollie Jones, Conway, and this will look at that thin out now in that front group.
That's going to hurt.
Absolutely hurting some of these athletes. My mind you, just to stay in the group here, 185 plus beats a minute too. A couple of relentless guys still in that group as well. As we look up the road there, I think that might be Dempster, just a 1 second lead up the road.
Interesting. Dempster's riding really aggressively, and Jones there in the Canyon kit, just rolling right on past, saying, "Excuse me, I'm just coming on the left-hand side here," and we can't flick the. You can flick the elbow still.
It's not when you're doing these sort of watts. I will tell you that much.
Alex West there hanging in there. Aidan Sinclair doing really well. The young man now of Team Canyon out of New South Wales. So Ollie Jones, Alex West, Aidan Sinclair, all the Canyon boys there. Relentless in there as well. And you can see obviously Dempster in that all black kit. He's played that Aero Power helmet so he's risked it in a way to stay in there. But that's a big risk to make. Sometimes you can probably keep that in the pocket, but he's got 2 more chances to pick up a couple more power ups.
Look at some of these drops now. So 4-5 seconds back to this second pack. Look at that.
2-horse race.
So 2, there's a few more. There's a good group of athletes behind. But I'll tell you one thing. Alex West and Aidan Sinclair will not chase this group down. They are 4 seconds back and representing Team Canyon ZCC.
So what you'll find here also is Dempster and Jones there. They're putting 5 seconds in, but these big packs on Zwift on the downhill, very hard to keep away. Very hard to keep away. So experienced riders like West, Wilson, and of course we've got Sinclair and Conway should be able to close that down. But we've got a gap close here by Seaball. He's rolling up on the back of Ollie Jones and G. Dempster, and 2 seconds back. They're all going to come back together, Greg.
Yeah, just with Christopher Ball there. He is the winner of the State of Origin last week, representing the great state of New South Wales, if you don't mind. One thing I have noted, Tim and Kappa, is not too much maroon in that front group. There's plenty of blue, though. So here goes Ball now. He won last week, took out the State of Origin, and we'll look to see him absolutely smash it up at the finish as well.
Don't you worry about that Royal Commission. So Messineo there leading the charge of that chase pack. No, Messineo knows the riders in Zwift, and he knows that 5 seconds, you don't want to give too much more than that. So well within the old rabbit up the road, as you say, that if you can see it, then you can chase it. So a little feather power up being played by Dempster. Watch him roll off the front here. He's going to put a little gap back towards Jones, of course, again, and apply some pressure on Ball.
Yeah, just start to put more pressure back on that chasing pack with no help from 2 of the riders in it. So 2 of the riders out of 7 or 8 in that chase pack will not be assisting whatsoever, with Ollie Jones up the road and his teammates a little bit further back down the road, as we can still see him there. Before this all heats up, I just want to give a quick shout out to a young man, Jordan Carroll, para-athlete out of Queensland, who is in the race tonight. Great to see Jordan in there, and has been supported before, Tim, in criterium and track road racing by the great Dave Rooster Sheehan.
Yeah,
so,
good stuff. Good stuff. So Messineo here responding. West sitting on Messineo's wheel. These guys have gone to head many, many times, but not very well organised. But lots of gaps here, things that need to be shut down. But if you'll remember, about 3 weeks ago on this finish, we had Lionel Sanders leading the train out. I think he had about 11 seconds back to Giuliano. Giuliano managed to close 11 seconds in the final 600 metres.
Yep.
So that's the sort of distance that can be closed on this finish line with the right power up.
Yeah, you can see some big experience coming through here. There's some lesser experienced New South Wales young guys in there, but the likes of Alex West,
giving you a clip.
Alex West and Hats, they will not pedal down that 6% descent. And this is all coming back together with those 3 riders now just about to be caught.
Yeah, unbelievable numbers here. Unbelievable numbers. So Messineo there just shaking the legs out, and we'll be back on the pedal in no time. There we go. Just cracking straight back up into the 300 watts. And Dempster, Jones, they're all come back together, Greg, as you say. McAuliffe, Danner, Konza and Conti in there.
We'll have to get on our game early here, Tim. This will light up this finish, but we do get it. We know it really well. So we're under a K to go now, so not too far up the road. Sorry, we're a bit further than a K out. We're under a K until we get back on the Watopia flat course.
Yeah.
I just lost myself for a minute.
You've just looked at the wrong screen, but that's okay. So Messineo there, Alex West, McAuliffe, Dempster, as they roll on up here. It's certainly not flat. We're going 3%. You can see top right there, the gradient, 3%. So if you are watching for the first time, that blue box up in the top left, that's the rider data that we are currently following right now. You're going to see a little kick here and some numbers come up as that gradient kicks up. You've got speed of the peloton in the middle, the distance covered, the elevation covered, which is pretty mighty over 17 minutes there as well. And top 5, there's 5% there. So another little bit of hurt through. This is a brutal brutal two-lap course.
This is tough. This is really
On
going to
the hammer.
hurt. And if you can stay with the pack, you stay with the pack, and you see what you've got and throw it all down in the finish. You want to be holding a nice aero helmet or a draft bus here. You don't want to be holding onto a feather because you probably not going to do too much in a finish line. But remembering we do have one more power up to come.
Yeah, sure. We've got to obviously come through this sprint com and pick up another one. So a chance to get rid of one, take the risk. You got to risk it for the biscuit, or of course keep what you've got and be happy with what you've got. So the draft bus, given it's such a tight front pack, well organised at this point, and it will be quite strung out. Draft bus might do the job also, because you're going to get quite a large congregation of riders coming down this big downhill finish. So look for a lot of draft buses as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be, we see Madsen still in there in front group, and 3 or 4 Team Relentless riders still hanging in there as well. So look to see them in the finish, and you'll see some of their names drop up. And look at that, Messineo just rolling off to the front there, if you don't mind. And he's got a teammate in there too, Conti. And Ostot is the Relentless rider I was looking for before. And there's a heap of look at these guys too in the green kits, Tim. That's our friends out of Rinkov, the German team, I believe. So good smattering of those guys in this front group as well. And we're seeing, is it Gonski?
Getting rid of a few there.
Yeah, he's definitely, look at it being dumped now. Yeah, Godson just holding on the back there as well.
Yeah, just a couple there. Got rid of the draft bus, so I'd say that's more to do with punting.
Cross your fingers.
That you're going to get the aero helmet. And does it come through? You do a little fist pump, don't you?
If you get that 10 XP, you throw something through the door.
That's my favourite one.
I love having, people have asked him, can we get rid of the 10 XP? No, it's great.
Way.
It's
no
great.
way. You got to get a lemon in there.
It's great.
Here we go, up the S's com right now. So we're going to see some big numbers here from Jones. 500. We're going to definitely touch 600 watts at some point. Here's those feather ups. So if you play a power up and up, you're done. You got empty pockets to the line. So let's see. We won't see many aero helmets being played. We're going to attack off the front here. Messineo rolls to the front there. 8.2 watts per kilo. Jones in great form at 8.1. Just shutting down a lot of attacks. Wilson there rolls through the front. We haven't seen Dempster since his attack earlier. So we'll try and pick him up. But Mears there off the front doing a very good job. Just 1-2 seconds back to the main chase.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for Team Canyon ZCC with Alex West hasn't put his nose in the wind. Ollie Jones has done all the work here, so could be setting something up there with Aiden Sinclair still in that front group. He hasn't kicked his chain off. He hasn't fallen off his bike. He's still there with not too far to go, and we have seen him attack early on this course as well.
No doubt, no doubt. McAuliffe there, 8.3 watts per kilo. You like to see the numbers jump around here. Can cause a little bit of panic in the peloton, knowing who's attacking, who's going. So you can get away with it, because sometimes people think that up and down nature is an attack, when in fact it's just the very nature of the gradient.
Yeah, tough racing. And we do not have too far to go now. I'm going to say we're at that 1K mark now.
He's called it.
I've called it, guys. So throw it up there and we will call them home. A couple more little pinches to get over here. They're more so just to stay in that front group. Wouldn't expect to see too many attacks. I didn't expect to see this many athletes in this bunch sprint finish, but great to see so many Queensland result. Look at that. So many Queenslanders in there. Tim, can I see any? Oh, a couple. I've got a couple.
There's definitely heaps in there, actually. I think it's an optical illusion, Greg. An optical illusion. So here we go on the long downhill stretch.
Keep an eye on Jones. I reckon he's got something.
Jones.
So Jones has got no chance. Off the front here goes Coleman at 4.9 watts per kilo. Just puts a little cheeky gap in the main peloton. Kappa, get back to that drone. Rolling up there, 2 seconds up the road. So we've got 2 seconds up the road at 8.2 watts per kilo to Mears. We're trying to respond there right now. Sinclair's off the front. Sinclair's laid down the R. He's asking the question of the main peloton in the all blue kit. Will he be shut down? 391 watts Sinclair. He is leading the charge here down Ocean Boulevard. The response by Mears now moving out on the left-hand side. Covers that attack. The Hat's there at 12 watts per kilo. He's coming on the outside in the all green. Will we see the attack by Duggan? 16 watts per kilo by Duggan, if you don't mind. Dempster here on the outside in the all black. We got Dempster going against Hats. It's Dempster on the outside. We saw him early. Can he hang in there? We've got Ball as well. Here comes Ollie Jones with the big sweeping attack by Ollie Jones. And Kappa head just wobbled off, and we've got red lights everywhere on the right-hand side, which of course we get to have a really good look at post-race. It'll be very hard to jump on through, extremely hard to jump on through this field. I think we have been punted Kappa from the race at that point, but that is okay, because there'll be plenty of results to go through, which we'll try and get to. Otherwise, you'll just have to sit tight. So, of course,
Unbelievable racing.
we've got plenty of riders still out there, of course. So shout out to anyone in B, C or D. And I actually saw there that within about 30 seconds of that finish line, there was some D-grade riders moving through. So they've
Lap
got a
2.
whole nother lap to go. So if you are still supporting or watching them, absolutely keep going for it. So, plenty of action still going out there. And we'll check out that replay now, Greg. That
Yes.
was pretty
You
extraordinary.
run through that again, because I called Westy and it was Ollie Jones, Tim, and Kappa. We finally got one right.
Yeah, we did. And Jones just timed that attack perfectly. So interesting to see here. So here are the names here. Hatz, Sinclair. So Sinclair just blew a little bit
Too
early.
early.
Maybe he was doing work for Jones, his teammate. We'll have to wait and see. Dempster there flying down the outside. We saw him attack earlier on that S's com. And then Jones just got that power up right. Just massive power there from Jones. Probably over 1,000 watts there by Jones. We see the four figures well and truly capable of those numbers. 183 beats per minute, if you don't mind. We'll go back and have a look at all of that over the next few days. Get all those results up. And of course, if you are involved in the cycling state of origin, New South Wales and Queensland. So check out for those results as well. So we'll move on through, Greg, because of course tomorrow we are back in the
Community
morning.
racing, 9 a.m. Sydney, Australia time, Melbourne time. And, did Sinclair hold on there, or did McAuliffe come through? There was Cridlin in there. Geez, they're New South Wales. Guys, get in the line. Get ready for the trophy. Get your speech ready.
Oh, the arrogance.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
Freddie Fittler will be back on the Tui's near before you know it. He's had about 5 years off the drink. He'll be back. Great to see some awesome racing. You'll see all the official results come through over the next period of time on the KOASportsLeague.com site. And Tim's waving his arm like a one-armed bird, so we'll cross back to him.
I'm glad you went with that. But of course, check out the KOA Sports Podcast, which just dropped this afternoon. So check it out, KOA Sports Podcast. Search it on iTunes and Spotify. Plenty of stuff there about e-racing, plenty of stuff there about cycling, triathlon, all the journey of Training Peaks so far. So check that out. And make sure you tune in tomorrow morning for the community race, the Warrior Race. We usually get about 300 for that one. So we might tick about 700 riders over about a 12-hour period. So that's pretty good. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate the sport, and we genuinely are doing the best we can. And we hope that we're providing a little bit of lighthearted entertainment, and hope you're having a bit of fun. Cheers.